Not my first rodeo.
How's everybody going? Welcome everybody. This is Franco Milan. Welcome to the Wholeflips Real Estate Podcast. I'm here with our guest, Jalal, the king of Miami. The king.
What's going on, man? Jalal's here. How's everybody doing today? Is this going live or this is pre-recorded?
This is a Zoom call. It's a Zoom call.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
You're welcome, man. I'm really happy, excited to have you here on the show today, man. So,
man, I hope my answer is gonna be so damn inspirational that make everybody watch this never want to even see the next episode, man.
Exactly. No, it's gonna be a good podcast. I'm really happy to have you here, man. So,
sure.
Let's dive right into the questions. Tell us about yourself, Jalal. Tell our people here, our viewers, about yourself. A little bit about yourself. Where did you come from? What was your what were you doing before real estate?
I was, do you know my story or what was I doing before real estate?
No, a little bit about your story about.
Well, my name is Jalal. I'm actually originally from Jordan, Amman, the Middle East. I speak Arabic for anybody that, is curious. I was born and raised in Jordan, Amman. I moved to America on August 2010, the 28th of August 2010. And I immediately went to Georgia, Atlanta, from Jordan all the way to Georgia. I was a car sales guy on a buy here and pay here dealership. Barely made any money. Was making like a couple $100 a week, not much. Cleaning up the lot, keeping the tires full. Barely made any money, but I've definitely learned a lot of sales skills there. And through getting beat on that lot, I mean, buy here, pay here, all the way far north in Georgia, It fucking gets cold. I'll tell you that much. And, throughout my, job and me working at the dealership, I've got to find out about Grant Cardone, and I started learning more about sales with him. Then, I started applying what I know in the dealership, kind of improved my sales a little. So I was selling cars in daytime, and I was a valet, car valet at a club at night. So I was doing those two jobs, just making ends meet and trying to help my family and improve my life. And I've never been like the outstanding sales guy on a lot. Like I was never top sales guy in the county or anything. Maybe the most cars I've ever sold in 1 month was like 27, and that was on a tax season. So it was, and honestly, that's not even like, it's good, but it's not exceptional, and it was not consistent. Then as I got obsessed with the Grant Cardone's content, and I just decided I want to work for the guy to learn more from him. And I went to Mexico, Cancun, where he had a seminar, and everybody was trying to go there to learn. I really just wanted to go there to kind of like pitch myself, try to get a job with the guy, and actually did. So he said, I'll hire you, but I went back to Atlanta, Georgia, and then he goes back to Miami, which is where his headquarters at. And I get a phone interview from his COO, and then she tells me my English was not good enough, so they can't hire me. So I said, F that, I am not, I didn't say that to her, but I hung up, and then I literally told everybody around me, like, oh my God, they hired me. They can't wait to have me. And I drove down to Miami in my 2007 Honda Fit. And I had just under $4,000 in savings that I had with me. I bought my car cash. It's a shitty Honda. And then I just did not want to have any commitments, like anything that I have to spend every month. And I gave a little bit of money to my mom too. And I just drove down because I told her for some time I can't send you money like I used to. So figure it out with this that I'm going to give you. And then soon I'll get back to helping you on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
And got here to Miami, and honestly, I feel like this is where my life really started, Miami. So I started working for Grant Cardone because I showed up to his office, and they said, like, pretty much I was saying, look, all you teach is show up, and I left everything I have to be here with you. The least that you guys can do is just give me an opportunity. And if I don't do good, just, let me hit the road. Okay. And they did hire me. They gave me a desk and everything, and then I got fired after about 3 months for non-production reasons. Can't disclose much why. You have to sign. I'm not sharing that information at their office. And however, I got fired. I take full responsibility. And then I said, you know what? I am just going to get into real estate, and because I've always heard Grant talking about it. And I said, that's what I'm going to do, right? I got into real estate by taking my real estate exam 8 times. I passed on the 8th time.
Okay.
I failed the first 7. Like, I got to the point where the lady that was on the front desk where I take the exam, like, she was like, you sure you don't want to try like the insurance test or something? Like, she was like, you sure you don't want to try anything else? So I did that, passed finally, got into real estate. And literally I was an agent, like I would say like a couple months, never done a deal as an agent. And the brokers that I was working with, they used to do wholesales themselves. And it was always, I got intrigued by it. Then I became more of an acquisition agent for them. And just, kept hustling till I got my first deal in, second deal, third deal, started saving up a little bit of money. They paid me an average like $2,000 a deal, but it didn't take so much money to change my life then because I was just so fucking broke. And, and I didn't have much liabilities. So from there, just, like kind of like upgrading a little bit by a little bit, I started doing my own deals and grow my operation today to I have about 2,600 square foot office. I have about 12
we'll
people
get to
inside
those.
this office. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, we'll get to those questions, but let's backtrack real quick. You said, you how you came from Jordan. Let's go back to that. That's
sure.
What brought you from Jordan to the United States? What told you, hey, you know what? I'm gonna move. What was it? I know your parents are out there.
I'm gonna give you the honest answer. It's gonna be funny. When I was in Jordan, I always watched a TV show called 90210. And I've always said, one day I'm going to go to America and I'm going to live like these guys. They got the cars, they got the women, they got the good life, and I need to go to America. But that was like, just me being, aspiring to be better. But dude, we struggled a lot in Jordan, man. Like, honestly, anybody that will watch this, like, living in a third world country is not easy. And it's not easy to make it in a third world country too. So we struggled in so many ways that I always thought, like everybody that is not in America thinks of America as it's just a land of opportunity. You just got to get there and then you'll figure it out.
That's great. Yeah, that takes a lot of balls to do that move. And,
I did it alone too, man. I didn't have anybody here.
That's crazy. That's very motivating. You moving and then, getting into real estate and living in your car. I know you've talked about that story many a time. So
yes,
and all that stuff, that fire, man. I know I've been there. I've done, that fire, that fire, that feeling of wanting to become more and make more money. It feels so good, man. Sometimes you don't even sleep just because, you just want to keep going and learning and making more deals, bro. I know that feeling. So that's definitely a good feeling. It gave me a flashback. So definitely
awesome.
good.
I love it.
And then you got into Grant Cardone's office. How was it working for the guy, man? How was it? How was the culture? What can you say about it?
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I think it's the best sales training that I've ever got in my life. Okay. It's better than buying any course online. I mean, I was just on the phone pounding with the guys. It allowed me to tap into being out of my comfort zone. And before I worked there, I've never done a cold call myself. So like the fact that I learned how to pick up a phone and make a call, and I'm damn good at it. The fact that I picked up that skill in my lifetime on an early stage allowed me to create like a hell of a foundation to create wealth in my lifetime. Yes. So it was definitely inspiring, man. Working there was it's like an unbelievable boot camp. Though I was there for a very short amount of time, but I'm very observing to my, surroundings. And then the way they operate a company that big is not easy. So you get to, I got to watch how they run a lot of their, company and how they do it.
Stuff. Yeah, did they get you on
my office today?
Did they get you on the phone right away that very first day, or did you go through training? What can you tell, like, insights about Grant Cardone's office?
I was on the phone the first day I was there, man.
They had you rocking around. They gave you the script.
I listened to them making calls for an hour. I was on the phone the next hour.
Oh, that's great, man. That's
Yeah.
definitely good. Something similar here for my office too. When the guys come, we put them on the phone, see how they sound, how confident they are. But that's
Yeah.
and that was
Matter
just
of fact, in my office, whenever I interview new people, I let them get on the phone for a week. So we do a second interview, like we'll do the first interview, which is the first interview is really just for me to like you. Like, do we like each other?
yeah.
Right? And are the obvious things right? If it's right, and like we'll do that like literally in 5 to 10 minutes, then if we like the guy just, as a quick look, then we have him on the phone from Monday to Friday, however much time they can. And then if they last till Friday, then I'll do a real interview then.
That's great. That's great. So
Yeah,
those are very good, key things you just said there. You do the
of
first
course.
interview, you have a second one, see if you're going to keep the guy in the office, right? So, sometimes you will know, right? You have to first put them on the phone, see how they act, to
Of
rejection, all that
course.
stuff, and then go from there. So
A
that's,
lot, a lot of people sound good, but
yeah,
they don't do good. Now, which is a big problem in the society, which is a lot of people say things and what they say and what they do just doesn't match. And it creates a lot of just, bad word. A lot of people walking around with insecurities because they just can't fucking deliver.
exactly, man. That's very key right there, what he said, guys. Keep an eye out for those things that definitely will,
Yeah,
you got to keep
totally.
an eye out, observe things, and that way you guys hire good people. So those are very key
Yeah.
things you said right there, Jalal.
Thank you.
And next thing, like what you were doing deals, right? You were wholesaling. When did you decide to bring people onto your team? When did you say, okay, I can't handle these leads, or you just said it, screw it, I'm gonna hire people. I don't want to be on the acquisition side anymore. How did that transition happen?
I hired my first guy. Honestly, like a lot of people are so tactical and articulate about how they do these things, and I'm sure you're gonna have people on here that probably will have answers that's more intriguing. I decided to get an office and hire people whenever I decided the office I was in, it's a shitty environment. People don't show up on time,
Yeah.
and real estate has no structure. And I hated the culture. Every company has a culture. Even if you think you don't have one, everybody just goes in, and as soon as they walk in, they get on their computers, they do the work, and they leave at 4:59. And I mean, that's also a culture. It's just a bad one, unless you think it's a good one. So it goes back all into perspective. So I got my first office because I was just so sick of the environment I was in. Not that they were bad people, but it was just, there wasn't like a time where everybody should show up. There was, like, it's just everybody out there, like, if they catch each other at the kitchen, they'll have a fucking conversation. And then,
Yeah.
like, there is no, time, like, there's no time, there's no culture that respects time. And I decided to go out and get my own office, and so I can create my own culture. But to answer in a specific way, I got my first sales guy after about year and a half of me being on the phone, literally Sunday to Sunday.
Sunday to Sunday, damn, man. That definitely, there you hear it, guys. Though so in other words, you mastered that position. You learned how to talk to homeowners,
Yeah.
and then you delegated that task.
When I stopped being able to make calls because I have too many appointments, that's when I said, I got to get somebody.
Okay. That's definitely good things right there. Good key things you just said. You first master that position before you let it go to somebody else. You can't lead if you don't know the situation. If you don't know how to
I'll tell you this, man.
right?
I know everything about a cold call.
Yes.
Like, literally majority of my lifetime, it's all I've done. And how many people they can say they were a top producer at Grant Cardone's office. Like, I was teaching salespeople how to sell. So I took my knowledge there, transitioned it into real estate. And honestly, my success came very quick because I showed my taxes on my event, Miami Movers.
We saw that.
And I literally displayed my taxes, my tax return on the screen, because a lot of people fucking talk and nobody shows nothing. They talk, but they don't show you nothing. I literally showed people that in 2016, I made the $20,000 all year. In 2018, I kept over $1 million, and I showed that on the screen. I showed people my personal fucking statements and tax returns. Not many can show this shit.
Yeah.
So it came so fast because I do what I say I will. And when I said I'm going to create a team and put them on the phone, I've done it for so long. There is nothing one of my guys going to go through on the phone that I don't know how to handle. I'm the captain. I know how to run the ship.
Yeah, exactly.
But I see a lot of people get into this business. First thing they do, they get whatever course they saw on Instagram first. And then next thing you know, oh, I'm hiring acquisition and cold callers. Well, fucker, have you done it?
Exactly. That's very key what you just said right there. People see stuff on Instagram. They buy a course. They don't understand, man. That's very crucial what you just said there. We've had people, they want to become bosses right away. It doesn't work that way, guys. You got to bust your ass, learn the person. In other words, you want to be the boss, here's the bills. Take care of the bills. As easy as that, right?
I agree.
Jump up to becoming a bosses right away, right? So, no, you first have to go, become an expert in that field and then go from there, start scaling up slowly. But all this Instagram, all this social media, Instagram started becoming popular on the whole fitness field and the entrepreneur field. So a lot of people just
I'll say this. You got to do your first, honestly, I've done at least, say 25, 30 deals alone, minimum. That's successful deals I've done. That's not everything got under contract because we all know there's deals that don't close.
Yeah.
Actually funded before I said, let me see if I can get someone else to produce under me. Truth. Okay. There should be, dude, go do your first 15 deals or 10 deals, minimum 10, and then say, okay, and maybe I could get someone else. Because the second you got a guy under you on sales that asks you a question about things they are going through on the phone with you, and those are not VAs, those are real people. They're going to fucking walk up to you and ask you questions. And if your answers are shaky, they'll lose confidence in you as a leader. And soon enough, they ain't taking your words.
Yeah.
Soon enough, that's why they pick up and leave and go work somewhere else or go open up their own shops.
Exactly.
The leader sucks.
The leader, that's something I was talking to somebody yesterday about. Okay, as a leader.
I'll say one last thing. I don't mean to interrupt you. The speed of a team is the speed of a leader. That's what I would say. Yeah,
that's very true right there. I was just talking to someone about that. They were telling me, okay, my acquisitions, they're having a little bit of trouble. They have the scripts, they have everything, all the research. Okay, how's the leader leading? Is he pushing them, or is he calling with them? What exactly is the leader? Is he showing up every day? So all that stuff is very important. People just think it's just, okay, build a business, plug the people, I'm gone, I'm not doing anything. You still have to be very involved in this business.
Yeah,
man.
I agree.
That's why there's not, this business will never be, you're never going to replace this business with robots or any type of programs or computers, because there's always has to be that person-to-person interaction. So that's very important to what you just said right now. Something else that I want to touch up on, the leads. You said you guys have leads you guys don't close on. What do you guys do with those leads? How do you handle those leads? Who calls that homeowner? How does that conversation go when you go back to the homeowner and say, you know what, we can't perform or whatever? What happens there when you can't sell that property?
So I'll tell you this. I live in Dade County, man. I live in Miami. So there is a lot of title fraud that happened here over the years in the city. So out of literally 5 to 8 deals, contracts we get, maybe one doesn't make it to the closing. And most likely it's not because we can't close. Most likely it's because there is more liens, violations on title than we could actually take. There's a guy who was saying to just take my land. I'll quit claim it for $500. To the point he came back and was like, just pay my closing costs. I don't want anything. Just take it. And I couldn't even do it. This guy had IRS liens on the lot. I will inherit that with it, and we couldn't separate the IRS liens from the lot. You take it, you're taking everything else with it. To the point, it just doesn't make sense. Okay. It would have to be extreme for me not to take it. But I'm not the guy that just locks in anything that gets on the phone, and then my business depends on my ability to go back and get a reduction, and if not, I actually send the cancellation. my guys, and I'll put them against some of the best teams in this fucking country. They know how to comp, negotiate, underwrite. They underwrite deals better than people been in the business for years. So they're not out there just like shitting offers on others. So by the time they lock the deal up, there's already money in the deal. And if it doesn't work, that means it's because there is something we discovered that we couldn't take, or the seller go freaking missing, and that happened to me before. I'm sure it happened to everybody too. Yeah. And also, like, the better you train your guys to negotiate and understand numbers, it'll become very hard for you to keep losing deals. And then also, they underwrite the deal as if we're going to buy it. Because truth is, if we don't find a buyer and the numbers are there, like, we actually close on the deal and put it back on MLS. We actually do that. Like, I actually fund my deals and I'll throw them back on MLS.
All of them? Every single deal you close on every deal?
Maybe this entire year, literally January to October, maybe I've done less than 3 assignments.
Okay. That's good too there. What gives you the confidence? Okay, that's very key right there, said. We close on properties too. I already know what I need to do before I take down that property. But what do you look at? What gives you the confidence saying, you know what, this is a good deal. I'm going to take it down. I'm going to buy it, hold it, and sell it.
Well, here's the thing. If I can wholesale it, for example, and make 10, and like double a close and make 10, or I can close, maybe put it back on MLS and make 25, most likely this is going to MLS. If I can double or more, I'm actually gonna close and actually realistic, right? But if I do everything and make 15, or I wholesale and make 9, I'm taking the 9.
You're taking the 9. Yeah, because you got to factor in the realtor fees,
Yeah, I mean, you got to underwrite all that.
Yeah,
and after you do, you must be doubling your money or more. If not, don't do it.
So you look for at least a 10K spread in there.
Hell no.
No, you said 20 on the
to keep or for per deal, any deal in general.
To buy it, what's the average profit you look for?
Like, if I'm gonna keep the deal, like, we got to be at least doing like about 30.
About 30. Okay, that gives you that confidence. You know what? I'm gonna take it down and sell it for a 30K spread.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, maybe they lowball you and you pay realtor fees and all that stuff. So
I got a hell of an example for you, man.
Let's hear it.
Do you remember the deal that I got that was 13 units that I kept?
Yeah.
Somebody offered me $150,000 for my contract to basically just give it to them and get out of the deal, like assign it.
It's the unit, right? The multi-unit?
Yeah, 13 units building. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. Remember? And everybody called me stupid for not doing it. That's 150 overnight. But little people know, most of these people getting in the business, or wholesalers in general, you could understand how to do a contract, but a lot of them don't understand because they're uneducated on financing and taxes.
Yep.
But then once you understand those two, parts and how you could implement them to improve your life, you start understanding those bigger wholesales, they're not what they look like. After taxes and everything, they don't. If it's a product you could hold, such as a multifamily, I said, you know what? Fuck that. I called Ocean Bank and I got a loan for $1,050,000. Okay. I took the deal down at 1.5 and I put down payment $450,000 out of my own money. It's not raised money. It's not leveraged money. It's not money that's put together by 2 or 3 guys. That's my own money after taxes. My
400,000.
450,000.
Was this money all raised from assignment deals? I mean, wholesale deals.
100%, yeah.
100%.
I've done some flips too. I rehabbed houses too.
Okay, so it was a little bit of I remember
a little bit about some assignment, some. I hate to say assignments because I really barely do any, man. I really like maybe one every few months, but it's when it's way too tiny is when I do assignments.
Okay.
It's mostly flips and flipping actually the deal like simultaneous closing or actual rehab, and then I put down the down payment on that deal. So I kept that deal. Just on Sunday, some institution offered me 2.150 on it. Like, I'm grossing $650,000 on the deal, assuming it goes through.
Yeah.
right?
That's amazing. That's amazing right there. What got you? How'd you get into multi-units? Who taught you how to underwrite these deals? Who told you, okay, this is a good deal. You're gonna, cash flow. You're gonna get this ROI on.
Honestly, this deal I underwrote my own self,
You
and
underwrite yourself.
because I've learned too, which is, like we all have. I mean, especially us in this industry, we all know somebody that holds a lot of multifamily, right?
Yeah.
And it started with me saying, "Oh, I need anything over 10% cap rate." But then, first of all, do you even know how to calculate cap rate? And by the way, if you run your deals based on cap rate, if you should hold, you're gonna end up losing too. You're gonna end up failing at this whole multifamily thing.
Let's touch up a little bit about that. Like, what makes you say that you're gonna lose money
Well, you're gonna lose money because if you think you're running based on cap rate, because here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
If Frank is buying a 10 units building from Jalal and my cap rate is 8, your cap rate is not 8. First of all, just so you understand, my operating expenses are not similar to yours. Let me tell you this: if I've bought my deal in 2001, because everybody buys shit that was bought a long time ago with equity, and I've bought my deal for $1 million. And you buy it from me for 2, your taxes just shot up another probably $15,000 a year. So once you actually underwrite and factor the increases you're going to have by the time you switch hands, cap rate is not what really you dictate your deal or no deal based off of. It's really thinking of like, what's your cash on cash return? What's the return on your own money? And having a clear understanding of what's your expenses going to look like by the time you own that deal.
Okay.
Like if you have leverage, then your cap rate is different, right? Your cash on cash on return is going to be very different if Frank takes this deal. Because my deal, my own brother maintains my deal. I have him on a flat salary. He fucking does everything for me. But if Frank gets a professional top of the line company, charges you 10% off your gross, then that's less money for you than me.
Yeah, so I guess it depends on the person, right? How much you want to delegate, exactly how, what you're willing to pay people to be able to manage your project. I mean, your unit.
But I would tell people
expenses.
Focus on your, the debt ratio. You need to calculate as if you had, I could go deep into this because I've been learning so much about multifamilies, but dude, if you're making $10,000 a month gross on a property, right? And then you go I wish there was a little screen you display those numbers, and actually you should do it for the people here. I think they'll appreciate it. If you are grossing $120,000 a year, right? So let's say we're just using simple numbers just to keep it simple, right? If you're grossing $120,000 a year, your operating expenses when you underwrite a deal at all times, you're going to multiply by 0.6 as if you spend 40% operating the building. If you do any fucking less than that, you're putting yourself at a high risk. Then you got to divide that by whatever your asking price is. Then you'll figure out, cap rate if that's what you want to know. Okay. But for example, my deal grosses over $18,000. That one building. I'm actually closing on my second one on next Friday.
That's amazing. How many units is that? How much per door are you paying there?
Well, I'm going to be at a total 17. First one, 17 doors, 17 apartments.
Okay, 17 doors.
Sorry, yeah. The first 13 that I've bought, they were the majority of them, they're big units. They're 3 2s and 2 2s and a half. And I've paid about $115 a door there. And the new one that I'm buying, I'm paying actually $93 a door. Let me double check. Yeah, I'm paying $93 a door. It's a much better area, but it's a fourplex, and I hate those little ones. I really do. Yeah. But I'm taking this one down because I have so much equity in it, so I'm taking it.
That's great.
Paying $93, $750 a door in that new one that I'm taking.
Where'd you find these deals? Where'd you find your multi-units?
The 13 units, it was a drive for dollars, believe it or not. And we called the guy, and the guy was like, fuck you, don't call me back. I would never want to sell. I want to die with this property. Literally, then over follow-up, we followed up on this guy, literally we calculated, it was 13 months since this guy been in our system. And
I remember you telling me about that story, but is that the burned property that you followed, the fire,
that's a different one.
That's not the one?
That was a wholesale. That was a whole different one.
All right.
So this guy, like at some point, like kind of faced a health issue, and
Mhm.
then after following up, staying on top of his mind. One time he just calls back like, "Hey, do you still want to buy this? I want to get rid of it. I want to travel the world. I'm 70. I almost died. I don't want to deal with tenants anymore." I'm like, okay, great. I'll be there. He wanted 1.7, brought him down to 1.5, and the deal appraised at 1.7. And I just reappraised the building because I might refi if I don't sell it. And I refi out, like, in the building appraised right now at 1.9, a little bit over 1.9.
There you go. Instant equity right away. I'm
Yeah.
guessing you'd probably raise the rents, did a little bit of changes, but you're getting your money back, you're refinancing, and you're
100%.
more, I'm assuming, right? This is
100%.
not going to be taxed. You're going to buy more units. You're going to be
Sure.
a multifamily owner, man. Instant multimillionaire, instant cash flow. I'm guessing maybe by when you're 40, you just don't even have to work. You'll have all this money coming in, cash flow.
Now, my goal is 1,000 doors by 29.
1,000 doors by 29.
Yes.
I'm gonna do another podcast with you on 2029. We got to keep each other accountable. We got big goals, and
we might regret only saying 1,000.
you might be surpassed that, man. You might be at the 4,000.
We went too small, man.
Yeah, so that's great, man. Very key things that you just said there. Multi-units. What were the pain points? The guy was older. He was just done. He was almost. I guess you said he was dying, so he just wanted to liquidate that asset. So, guys.
But it's really follow-up, man.
Yeah, it's the follow-up.
Follow-up. He could have called any other guy in those 13 months that reached out, because everybody's calling these buildings. It's not just you.
What made you stand out on that call? What made you stand out from other guys that were calling them?
Our follow-up is ruthless.
Follow us. And I know you made me buy tickets for your event, man. And
the same way I follow up is the same way my team does, because I focus so much on teaching them sales, like truly much.
And based on a follow-up, how do you follow up without being annoying? In other words, there's what do you use or maybe,
easy answer, man.
Words, what do you use to not be, to annoy that person, to harass that person?
Which is creativity. Now, you got to also think commitment, right, needs to come in first before creativity kicks in.
Yeah. Okay.
So if your guy is not committed to get the deal, chances he'll get creative is very low. So how committed is the guy on the phone will also dictate his creativity following up with the lead. But again, that's not enough. You need real techniques, right? Now, like we have many. Now, it depends on also the seller, right? It depends on who you're dealing with. Now, of course, having your CRM and setting tasks like reminders to follow up and actually following up, and I mean, that's a big one, and that's actually a major one, because there's no way you can remember everything on top of your mind, right? Then make sure every time you get on the phone with that lead, you're actually grabbing a conversation that's actually relevant to the deal, and you're noting all that information down. And every time you make the next call, you're using that information you took from the last call to actually follow up on the next. Plus, like, we do selfie video follow-ups. We do actually send it's called article follow-up. Like literally they would go online, say, type like whatever you want, space article, and find an article about something the seller mentioned on the phone. And hey, read this article, thought of you today, hope you're doing great. Shoot it over to them. We'll do that. And then I would actually, like, at the end of every month, like, hey, look, it's the end of the month, right? They can do it on selfie video or phone call or text. Hey, it's the end of the month, and we're trying to close the month strong. Look, I just spoke to my manager. I can get him to pay all your closing costs. We're willing to go another $2,000 on your deal if you're able to send us this back today, right? Like, we have those techniques. And actually now I'm building my university, it's not for sale. It's actually only for my sales team, where I have day-to-day follow-up lines and techniques they could use every time they get on the phone, up to 365 days.
That's great, man. So you said a lot of good info there, a lot of content there. One thing is the follow-up. Like you said, just follow up. You're going to harass a person if you don't find a way to be – the key word you said is creativity, getting creative, finding a way of not harassing that person you're calling. So like you mentioned, you heard he likes, let's say for an example, the Falcons, right? The football team. Then you find an article, you see that they won, you text that article to them. Now you're getting in their head, you're planting that seed, and that guy's going to be like, oh, this guy really remembers what I said. He's just not another guy calling me out of the blue. So you're connecting back to kind of like what the book Winning Influencing Friends, right? You're kind of winning, you're winning him, right? And I always tell my guys, this is kind of like a relationship, guys. You just don't want to show up and get straight to the point, right? You don't want to show up and get straight to the team. You got to work it. You got to listen to the girl. You got to listen and see what they like. How are you going to get creative? It's no different, you know. So sales is very important.
Because they remember the way you make them feel, not what you say.
Yeah.
And then the few days ago, actually, I'm looking at my sales team and I'm thinking of the stories that just coming to me. Dude, I swear to God, 2 weeks ago, my guy gets on a call with somebody and he says, hey, Jalal, because by the way, I get on phone calls. When the calls go bad, I get on them and fix them myself.
Dude, that's key what you said. Today I'm getting on a phone call. We're locking up a portfolio. My guy wants me to get on it and third party touch it. I said, let's do it. But yeah, what you just said right there, you're just dropping bombs and key things after key things. You get on the phones as well. You help them out. You're not a boss. You're a leader.
Oh, of course, dude. I got to help them. By the way, if you don't do that, they'll stop believing in you sooner or later until they find another leader willing to do that.
Yes.
Now, at some point when assuming I got so big in my life, like I have someone else duplicate to do that for them too. They just got to always feel, supported. And also this guy tells me, hey, Jalal, can you help me on this call? I said, yeah, no problem. I read the name. I'm like, why does this sound familiar? It's still not coming to me. I get on the phone and the seller says, as soon as I get on the phone, I was like, hey, Jalal speaking. I'm the manager here at the office. I'm trying to help you. First thing the guy says, are you Jalal? I'm like, yeah, that's what I said. He said, man, I spoke to you 4 years ago. I'm like, how do you know? Your name is familiar. He was like, you called me about this one property I have in this area. It's called Opalaka. And what is it called? And we just didn't do a deal. Like, it was never a deal. It's like, I was like, man, that's awesome. How did you remember? He's like, man, I remember your voice. We had a great call. 4 years later, my man. 4 years later, and the guy says, oh my God, I remember your voice. It was a great call we had. Matter of fact, now I want to sell. Now we're getting that guy under contract. It's such a random thing. Like, I don't even want to call it follow-up because, I didn't even know how we got him on our list. Our list is so huge. But the guy remembered who I was because I had a great call with him 4 years ago. I'm not saying that works every time, but they remember the way you make them feel, not the words you say. So you need some commitment to get creative.
You do, man. That's very important. That's very important. That's why you got to feed. It's very important what you feed yourself. Being around the correct people too. Being around creative people, dreamers, go-getters. Dude, I like hanging around people like you that think like you, and they're always. Your energy is just so positive, and how can I say, it rubs off, man. So you have to be around people like that because. You just have to, guys. You just have to. That's very important what you just said there.
Appreciate you, man.
We have some other questions here. How do you have such amazing culture? Well, I guess we just answered this question because of you, your energy, the person you are, and the how creative and pushy you are with your guys. That's how you the culture. You keep that.
I call my office like a military boot camp for real estate.
Keep them alive. You're gonna have to teach me a few gems here and there.
My office is very strict though. Like, our culture is very strict. Like, I lose a lot of guys because of my culture. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, we have a daily morning meeting at 8:50. You get there at 8:51 3 times or 5.
Oh shoot, yeah. We have our daily meetings too. We're not as strict as that's like 9:01, but we are strict. So. Now I know whenever I lose my job, I'm not going to get hired by Jalal because I don't want to be late and get fired.
Because once no.
No, that's good. It's good because it teaches you how to be disciplined, man. It teaches. This is a very important. That's how you lose sales. If that homeowner,
if you can't respect my time, you ain't respecting the lead's time.
That's true. And not only
if you can't respect my time, you're not gonna respect the seller's time.
And not only that, the seller. There's sellers who, if you don't call them at the time they said you were gonna call them, you lose that.
You're gonna lose them.
Sellers who
Yep.
very, very strict with that. So that's why
You're
you
right.
have to be like that, and I respect that what you do there. How many properties are you closing a month?
How much or how many closings?
How many closings?
We do average, like, good or bad month?
All of them. I don't know what's the difference between good and all of them.
Well, I mean, in numbers wise, I would say like 5-6 deals. That's like a bad month. Good month, about like my highest month was like 14 deals a month.
That's good.
But I made more money on deals on months that I had less deals in than months that had more closings.
Those big spreads, man. Yeah.
The one time I had 5 closings in 1 month, but 3 of them were over 70 in margin net.
That was the next question. What's the average price point?
Like per pop?
I mean, average profit per deal.
Gross or net?
Gross. Because I know,
25 to 30.
25, 30. Those are great.
Yeah.
That's great. Those are big chunks of money right there. That's why you make, the money you make. Those are great, man.
I made more money on multifamilies though. I'll tell you that much.
I know you're doing. I know you got that cash flow coming in. So, that's what a way to have it, man. What a way to better than have cash flow. Now, back to your guys. Are your guys commission based? Are they salary? What type of, if you want to touch up, you don't have to answer, but are they like salary, commission?
Oh, sure, man. Actually, 2 days ago, my top sales guy just made $17,000 on one deal.
Oh, amazing. That's amazing.
And that's not his first check he's got this month. He's got like another 3 of them, and each one of them was like, one was like 6, one was like 4, and the last one was 17, and he's got 2 more. So he's going to make almost $40,000 this month. And
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Build these businesses. I paid out my guy 2.6 on his last check too. He made a big spread. He made 6. It feels good to write those checks. They're putting in the work. You're giving them resources. You're training them. Making money, man.
Let me tell you something. Because of those big checks he's got, this guy, I don't want to mention names, lived in a trailer park all his life with his mom. This month, he's moving himself out with his mom out of the trailer park for the first time in their lives. He was born and raised in a trailer park, and this month he's moving his entire family out of the trailer park into a nice, not oceanfront, but a nice house in a respectable neighborhood.
That's great, man. Now, what a bet. That must be a good feeling.
Bought his mom and brother a car too.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. Yeah. That's definitely a good feeling.
Have
you ever had any doubts in your career of you quitting and saying, you know what, this is not for me? Sorry I asked this question right now, but it's just here. It should have been asked at the beginning, but have you ever had any doubts throughout your career?
It's weird. It's like I've always had doubts, but at the same time, like I just knew things will be just great at some point, right? And every time I had doubts, and people need to understand, when you have doubts, it's not the industry, it's you, fucker, it's you. So every time, and we are in such an industry that made more millionaires than probably anything else. So when I feel bad or feel doubt about what I'm doing, I look around me and see who do I know that became a multi-millionaire or a billionaire in real estate. And it doesn't have to be somebody I know. It could be somebody on what is it called? Forbes. And the way I think about it, if somebody made $1 billion doing real estate, that means I could too. So if I didn't, it's because I suck, not what I do. So have I had doubts in making it? Of course, but I've never had doubt in real estate, and that's what kept me going.
Okay, there you go, guys. Do you still have doubts at this far in your career?
Fuck no, I'm gonna be so rich. It's stupid.
You're gonna have to invite me to your mansion, man. We're gonna have to,
only if you invite me to yours.
I will. You're always welcome, man. You're always welcome.
But one thing, the way I say, oh, fuck no, dude, I'm going to be so rich. I mean, look, we all have those moments where oh, fuck, things are bad. We all have our goods and bads, goods and, up times, down times. But, I just feel so confident about my future because I've delivered so many times And when I say things, I do them, and I've delivered for so long, for so many times. I just believe in myself in doing something that, great in 2020, 2021, 2023, and I'm on the right path. I pay the taxes. I don't steal. I don't go around people for their deals. I'm very ethical. And actually, if you come to my office, I have quotes everywhere. And my core values are, which is, how to keep a full pipeline, is do the right thing, do the best that you can, and show people that you care. And those are three. If you operate with them, dude, you can't have doubt. You're doing the right thing. If you bounce enough good things to the wall, great things are coming back, right? So how could you have doubt? We were doing good stuff.
You're moving at a good pace, and I could see it, man. I've been following you for a while. You've been moving at a good pace. You're doing the right moves. You're not.
When you started following me, I used to sleep in my car. Actually, that 2007 that I drove down with from Georgia to Miami, I used to sleep in that car.
I remember you were an agent.
I used to sneak into LA Fitness every morning before I go to the office to make my calls to take a shower. And one time the manager caught me keep sneaking in, and he paid 90 days membership out of his own pocket to let me go in and take a shower every morning before I go into the office. And I definitely went back and paid. And until today, I know that guy. So how could I have doubted? I was in a place where I never want to go back. I just don't want to go back. Like if this, losing a deal, me making 100,000 rather 150,000 a month is bad, dude, it was so bad that this is not bad. Now I just got to do more. I've lost, trust me, I just lost one of the biggest deals I was about to do. I had it for 30, I had it sold at 140, boom, seller backed out. What am I going to do? Did I stress it? No, because my pipeline is so big. Like, I don't give a fuck for one more. I do, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. So, yeah, I'll sue the guy. I'll chase him. I'm going to get it to close, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it because it's been so bad that I let things work themselves out now. I don't worry as much as I do. Like, I'm still aggressive, but I'm more tactical. Well, before I was like aggressive, but an amateur.
Yeah.
But as I grew a pipeline, I matured and I chased different.
Okay.
You understand? If the lion runs like crazy from far, those gazelles gonna run because they can notice him. Yeah. But if that lion, when they put their heads down and fucking sneak up on that gazelle, they catch one or more. So I'm like, dude, I'm no longer the amateur, dude. I'm not the shotgun. I'm a sniper now.
There you go.
And I just got to shoot enough times until I get, the target that I'm going for. And I will.
You will, man. I don't doubt that a little. I can see that,
Thank you so much.
That's very motivating. Their story, like you said, I've been following them for a while. You were an agent. You were at a small office. You've been growing. I saw you go through like 3 offices. The first one, the second one, third one. And you keep growing, man. That's very motivating. That's why I decided to bring you on our podcast. And
thank you so much.
Friends, too. I remember I got to hit this guy up. He's. I remember his stories.
First time you hit me up, I was like, "Is this guy full of shit, dude?" But then I got to know you. I came to Arizona. You're a great guy. If anybody's listening to this podcast, you're gonna pick up so much information from this guy. I mean, you've definitely helped me out with plenty of information, and I'm very grateful for it. I'm also very careful with my time and how I spend it, especially when I'm on my producing hours. That's why I have a stand-up desk. I make sure I'm doing the right thing the whole day too. I decided to take my time to get on this podcast because you've truly also added value in my life, and this is the least that I could do for you. You're a great example for others. I'm sure for people in your office too. And I'm honored to be a friend of yours, man. And I mean, I hope to help as much as if you also, helped within, every time I came to you with a question. And that'd be the least that I do. I like your brother more than you don't. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you, man. So
it's a pleasure to be your friend too, man. And legitimate aside, doing this podcast, I really appreciate you taking the time and being here. I know we're very busy. We're taking our business to the next level. We're always on the go, seeing what's next. So I appreciate your time. It's very valuable. And here finalizing with the last question, what is next for Jalal?
I need to own 100 units before 2020 ends. Liquidate couple whatever rehabs I have going on, move all
Okay.
the deals, build my capital, because in the case of a crash comes in, or economy adjustments by 2020, I'm ready, ready for it. And if my money goes anywhere, it only goes into down payments on multifamilies. That's like my shorter term. My longer term, I would say by before 40, I want to own at least 10,000 units. That's my target. Like bringing over 12%, on my money. And I want my company to be netting, which is a minimum, an average of $1 million a week, which requires a bigger team and a better system, better foundation, and I'll grow to it, right? We'll grow to it. I mean, time passes, but what are you doing with that time? Because if you're not changing, you can't see a change. So whatever I do a year, I need to figure out how to do a month, then I got to do it a week, right? And that takes a lot of work, and I'm very well aware. That's on a business standpoint, but on a personal standpoint, I got to take care of my health, got to lose about freaking 30 pounds that I want to lose. Been trying to have abs for a long time. Man. I keep saying it was easier for me to make $1 million than get abs. And that's crazy.
You'll get there.
It took me less time to make money than to get abs, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Take care of my health, educate myself more, make sure my family's also provided with financial freedom, and go buy all my materialistic dreams, man, and just live a good life and enjoy it around the people that I prefer.
That's very good goals, man. I look at it, and I have no doubt that you're going to get there. You're going to achieve that goal. You're going to take care of your family, and we're going to live a great life, man. So,
thank you, man.
Jalal,
of course.
I enjoyed today. I love when I interview people like yourself.
Thank you.
Knowledge. Again, I really enjoyed it, and tell our viewers what your Instagram is so they can go.
Of course. So I love it. Again, thank you. And my Instagram is the King of Miami Real Estate. Also, you can find me under the King of Miami Real Estate on YouTube, my YouTube channel. We post a lot of funny stuff too. And I actually just started my podcasts. My podcast, which is very different than yours. You're doing real estate interviews. Mine is more no interviews. It's only me talking, and then it's more like your mindset and my day-to-day operation. It's called Jalogics. Jalogix. Jalogics. Which is, my name is Jalal. It's like Jalal's logic. It's like my 2 cents on life. And some you'll agree to, some not. But follow me there too. Again, Frank, thank you so much. You're the best. And however I can help, I'm always here for you. And your guys on here too.
Thank you, Jalal. Thank you again. You guys comment and share on this video. Make sure to follow Jalal. Comment and share on this video. I'll be picking winners every week for a 10-minute consultation call. So make sure you comment, you share, and you like this video, guys. Thank you for sticking around. Hopefully you guys keep listening to our stuff, keep sharing it, and thank you for watching, guys.
Thank you, man. Let's do this.